Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, Tigers. I'm Sydney.
And I'm Sarah. Today is Wednesday, June 1st, and it's a PBIS Collaboration Day today.
It's the first day of finals, so spend some time during focus getting ready for your second, third, and fifth block B-Day finals.
Your fourth block B-Day final will take place on Friday.
As you start to clean out your lockers, if you find reusable school supplies, please drop them off on the cart outside Miss Canodal's room.
Students, good things come from recycling these supplies. Your classmates don't have to buy everything they need for school next year, and you are decreasing landfill waste.
Also, if you attend Ho-Chunk Youth Services, remember that they'll be closed starting today until June 27th.
They'll be working on summer enrichment programming during your break.
Another summer-related thing to think about, the fair.
FFA members that want to exhibit through the FFA, you must get your completed entry form and money to Mr. Markhart before school is done, June 3rd.
If you want to exhibit at the fair, there are fair books in the main office and the egg room.
Speaking of the fair, the Miss Jackson County program is now seeking eligible women to serve on the 2016-17 Miss Jackson County Court.
Eligible candidates must have been residing in Jackson County for a minimum of 6 months at the time of application and be the age of 17 as of January 1st, 2017.
Pick up your application in the counseling office or the main office.
Applications are due to Program Coordinator Cassie Olson no later than July 9th.
Now, some kudos.
Last week, we had too many of you to mention during the recognition ceremony, so we're mentioning you all over the next few days.
First, Mrs. Halverson wants to recognize the following CCLA members who competed in April at the state competition. Here are the results.
Tyler Leadholm, Zach Ziller, and Aaron Rue, Chapter Service Project Portfolio, Gold.
Cheyenne Kroon, Recycle and Redesign, Bronze.
Allie Zilmer, Ashley Overleen, Caitlin Johnson, Chapter Service Project Display, Silver.
Morgan Anderson, Career Investigation, Silver.
Casey Canings, Allie Deniason, Lauren Halstead, Ashley Dearest, Christine Johnson, Haley Beams, Haley Collins, Nick Hagenbroth. Top Gold National Qualifiers for San Diego.
If you're interested in community service events, skilled events, leadership, or travel opportunities, please see Mrs. Halverson next fall to sign up for FCCLA and see how you can make a difference.
And here's a Caught in the Act.
A shout out to Haley Marchsnake, Sarah Rave, Tyler Leadholm, and Christine Johnson for volunteering to help the early childhood class at the park.
They were extremely helpful.
Here's another recognition.
This year's Writing 1 and Writing 2 Student Reporting Labs group, comprised of Maya Long, Lauren Halstead, and Lauren Perry, earned special recognition from the National SRL program twice this year, once for best location and once for best use of sequencing.
You've seen a few of their videos, and today you're going to see their final piece, one they've been working on all semester.
This year, they were part of a group of 17 schools that helped the National SRL program with a STEM study funded by the National Science Foundation.
They did some great work.
Before we go, have you ever thought about climate change, how climate change will affect your winter plans?
I know I have. Have a great day, Tigers.
In the upper Midwest, businesses and families who have staked their livelihoods on outdoor recreation are adjusting to changing weather patterns. Almuth Harley-Davidson, a family-owned business based in Black Earth Falls, sells snowmobiles during the off-season. In the U.S., snowmobiling alone creates $9 billion in revenue, so this changing weather pattern means more to Almuth's business than others.
In 1965, Al and Jerry, my mom and dad, started the business. We started snowmobiles in 1970 and motorcycles in 1965.
I got involved in 1984. I don't think people realize what we do behind the scenes and making a business work and be successful.
Being we've been in business for 50 years, we've seen a lot of ups and downs with the snowmobile and the motorcycle business. Weather plays a very important part in both of those businesses.
Snowmobiling and other recreational activities rely heavily on high levels of snowfall. More than 23 million people participate in winter sporting activities each year, adding an estimated $12.2 billion in economic value to the U.S. economy. Superintendent at Black River Falls State Forest, Peter Bakken, knows what it's like for these businesses and how important these climate shifts can affect them.
Recreation is one of the larger economic drivers in the state. People obviously value spending time in the outdoors.
Temperatures in the Midwest have been above average this winter by 60%, and the global average temperature has increased by 1.4 degrees Fahrenheit over the past century, and it is predicted to grow by 3.7 by 2025. In an increase by just 2 degrees, you would expect to see 15% reduction in crops, 10% more amount of rainfall, and 400% more areas burned from wildfire in the western areas. Sporadic snowfalls are making it difficult to have any sort of consistent recreational activity and revenue.
Yeah, it was a very poor winter for snow this year. Usually in this area you get more clippers that you depend on for getting like 3 inches here, 3 inches there, and we didn't get any of those this year, so it was a very unusual winter.
The lack of snow the last 2 years has had a drastic effect on our snowmobile business. The snowmobile business, we usually sell 30 to 40 snowmobiles a year. We have sold probably 15 to 20 snowmobiles.
We order clothing for the snowmobile season, and we do that a year out ahead of time. So you try to predict what it's going to be like in a year, and that's sometimes a little tough.
Mark's son, Alec, who hopes to take over the business in the future, watches these changes that are happening.
For snowmobiling, there wasn't enough snow, obviously. The snowmobile trails were only open for about a week this year.
And if you have a year like this where the snow's melting early and we get a lot of precipitation and the trails are getting inundated, wet, a lot of times they close before March 15th.
That's a problem for the business also because nobody wants to buy a snowmobile when it's 50 degrees outside.
There are other sources of revenue for Al Muse Harley-Davidson, where motorcycle sales thrive throughout the U.S., creating $6 million in revenue a year, and they adjust as best as they can when the weather does not cooperate.
When there's no snow, then the Harleys can come out and we start selling those.
This last fall was very good for the motorcycle business because we rode motorcycles into November, and the new motorcycles seem like they're selling very well at this time of the year.
Muse hoped that these adjustments and changes can make the business thrive in the future.
I'm 55 years old, so I hope in 10 years to be able to retire, and we'll see. My son is 20. We'll see if he wants to be in the business.
And I always wanted to work on something when I was little and get my hands dirty.